Hello everyone and welcome back to another Figurehead Reviews video. And today we are taking a look at the Marvel Legends Prowler as he appeared in the Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse movie and part of the Stilt-Man Build-A-Figure wave. Here we have Prowler displayed in the front window with his Build-A-Figure pieces. Down at the bottom we see the Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse logo and his name. On the side we're going to have some artwork there of Prowler, a pretty close-up shot, and that is going to be the same artwork on both sides. On the back, we're going to see that same artwork from the side panels, just expanded upon, so we see a little bit more of what's going on, which there's not a whole lot, but it's still a very cool picture. And we're going to have a quick read-up. Equipped with an armored suit and gadget-filled wrist gauntlets, Prowler pursues his enemies under the cover of darkness. And then we are going to have all the other figures needed in this wave to complete the Stilt-Man Build-A-Figure. At the very bottom, we have the UPC code, so you can check with your local retailer to see if they have this in stock. But enough about that, let's get this open and take a look at Prowler. And here is Prowler outside of his packaging, and once again this version of this character is based on the Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse movie, so it is going to be different from the comic book versions that we've seen already released. But I think they did another excellent job with this figure, and Prowler really one of the breakout characters in that entire movie, and I really liked the soundtrack that played every time he was about to come into frame and things like that, that weird alarm sounding thing that it did. I thought that was really cool, and that was something that really sticks with me in that movie, is that theme for when Prowler makes his appearance. Now, unfortunately, Prowler does not come with any accessories of his own, but he does come with the right arm, an alternate right hand, and the suitcase that we get for the Stilt-Man Build-A-Figure, and of course we'll check that out once we actually assemble the figure. Now, when standing straight up, Prowler is coming in at 6 5/8 inches tall, which makes about 16.8 centimeters, and that height is to the tip of his cape, which does stick up a little bit higher than his head. But since he doesn't have any accessories to look at, let's go ahead and just jump in here and get a closer look at Prowler. And getting up close, starting first here with the head sculpt, you might be quick to think that there's really not much needed to do a hooded mask here, but there's some really good subtleties here. I mean, we can see the ears are actually sculpted in, just, tiny little mounds there on the side, but that's a great attention to detail, and the bottom of the hood looks like it's just baggy material there, so it's not exactly form-fitting, and I think that looks really good as well. The paint applications there on the black and white, not too bad. Little bit of a miss there on the one eye, but otherwise not too shabby. Looking at the cape, so that is the trademark Prowler. We just get all that extra fabric there at the front of the cape, so well done there. But we don't get a very big cape with him. You get a lot of bunched up material here in the back. We get that high cowl, but the cape itself is actually pretty narrow, so not like what we got with some of the other Prowler figures, or the other Prowler figure. We do have purple on the back side, and then we get this dark, I'd say it's a dark blue. I don't know how well it's showing up on camera, but it's a very, very dark blue. And of course it is molded pretty flexible, and it does have a port in the back of the figure, and the rubber piece there to put it in, but man, I had a hard time getting it to fit in there, so I think, I don't know if you're going to have to heat it up or just not worry about using it, to be honest. Going down the rest of the figure, I really like this body sculpt for the most part. We get just that feeling of loose fabric again, but there are a couple of things that, where was it? Right here, I think? Where I had, just some general ugliness on those seams. So thankfully that's not too big a deal, but I don't know what is going on there. I don't know if that's in the sculpt or if that's just a problem with the paint. It looks like it's a problem with the paint. So that is a little unfortunate, but not very noticeable. The logo on the chest came out well, and the lines here for the paint from this, again, almost a dark blue to, I don't know what the heck color you'd call this on the inside there, but whatever, you get the transition, you get what I mean. Now, the arms, I like how those are sculpted as well. Again, a lot of fabric. The gauntlets came out looking very cool. Paintwork on them's not bad. The gloves with the claws came out looking really cool, but I don't like, number one, that's as far down to the side that his arms can go, so you don't get a whole lot of room there to bring his arms down, and his elbows don't go straight. They have a permanent slight curve to them. So that is I don't know, I guess it's not super annoying because I'm probably not going to have him straight armed all the time anyway, but still, I don't know. It just doesn't look great. The belt, not bad. Nothing crazy there. Simple paintwork on the buckle and on these little capsules there. And then legs again, nothing too special. We get a bunched up fabric look here going into the boot, and you get some good paintwork there on the boot. Now, going into some of the issues that I have, my biggest issue is with this head sculpt. So it looks really good, and again, that bunched up fabric look came out really nice, but unfortunately it prevents the head from going back really at all. With the cowl being so tall, they could have done something where they gave us a little bit more room to be able to bring the head back so we could get some better jumping poses. So that is unfortunate. Otherwise, he can look down quite a ways, and of course, his head does turn side to side, but not a whole lot else. The arms can come up about 90 degrees, full rotation. You do have a bicep swivel, but as you can see, it breaks up that sculpt work. It's kind of like, it reminds me, I think it was Falcon that had a pretty significant line there. So when you use that bicep swivel, it's very apparent. Unlike Miles and Peter, I was able to bend the elbows here without having to heat them up, so that is good. Double jointed elbows. And then he does have the ulnar and radial type of hinge there for both of the hands. His ab crunch would be another point of contention I have. Doesn't go very far forward, which is a bit unfortunate. Here we go, a little bit better representation if I can get him to stand straight up. Yeah, it does not go very far forward at all. However, it can go quite a ways back, but not really necessary to go that far back. Plus, the cape is going to get in the way, and you get a pretty big gap there if you go too far. He does have a waist rotation, legs that can come apart quite a ways, although like they're not drop down or anything, but as you can see, the one leg goes out further than the other, so that's kind of an interesting thing going on. Kicks forward very far, backwards actually a pretty good ways as well. He does have an upper thigh cut, double jointed knees, and I will say the knees were a little stiff at first, but again, I didn't have to heat them up, but they don't go as deep as I would like them to. And then you do have rotation here at the boot, and then you do have a hinge with ankle pivot, and it's actually a really deep hinge too, which that's really cool. And that is going to do it for this review, everyone. And overall, I was kind of thinking about all the things that I just said here in the last 6 minutes or so, and I kind of realized that I feel like this review is a bit lackluster, and the more I think about it, I guess that's kind of my feelings on this figure. It's based on a cool character from that movie, and it's decently sculpted and everything, but I feel like I just wanted maybe more dynamic posing capabilities out of this figure than what we got. Very acrobatic character, and this was one of the best jumping poses that I could get him into that kind of looked natural, and it's kind of him descending down versus jumping towards or attacking. And yeah, I think Hasbro could have done just a couple of minor tweaks and made this character, or rather figure, just that much cooler. But as it sits, I mean, it's still a great addition to the Spider-Verse figure lineup, and I think a necessary one. I mean, he had a pretty good role in that movie, and it's good to get a villain from the movie in the lineup as well, of course. But anyway, like I said, that is it for this review. If you like it, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. Subscribe for more content just like this. And as always, thanks for watching my video, and have a great day.